Please fasten your seatbelts.
I had 11 Olympians and over 800 national champs. And all those men, they wouldn't do half the work that she do. And I'm seeing it from the young ladies. These last 2 years, when you think about it, all the good fights is coming from the women. The guys is ducking each other, looking for the easy way. Hey. I'm telling you like it is, you know? So again, you know, this young lady done did everything I asked of her, and she did more. And I'm watching all the young ladies that's boxing now. It's like they trying to prove they better than men. Now, we knew they was kind of there, but now they showing that they mean. You know, in old days in Philly, we call these guys crazy. And that's the way these women are. So when you go back home, speak nice to you.
I want to say what's going on this evening, man. Happy holidays to everybody that decided to come out, you know what I'm saying, and show your face. You know, this is the audio portion. You know, man, boxing is so funny, man. You kind of got to be crazy to follow boxing, man. You kind of got to be able to have different personalities to keep up with these fighters, keep up with these promoters, keep up with the pulse of boxing, you know. I just find it so funny, man. Like these goalposts get moved so often, man. I'm like, where do we stand, man? Oh man, I'm gonna get into this Shakur De Los Santos thing here in a second, man. But I just want you to just think about some things that's on your mind in regards to boxing and some of the things that's going on, man, and how, you know, different people choose to peel back these layers of these onions in their own little ways, man. And it's just crazy, man. Like, the standards be changing, man. It's like 1 minute I'm out leading the charge for Shakur because, you know, he can't get no smoke. And of course, he had the unfortunate event of actually having missing weight on the scales. And so, you know, they're hitting him with the, what do you have to offer? And I'm like, an ass whooping. Yeah. An ass whooping is about what he has to offer, you know, if you want to take that deal. You know, with that being said, Tank is already locked up, so he's out of the equation. He got 2 fights. He's still getting little rib shots and people taking shots. I'm like, man, that man minding his business. He putting food on everybody's table. He got probably one of the best cards in the last decade. If you take in the main event, if you take in, you know, everybody on the undercard from Demetrius Andrade, Damon Nicholson, the Peterson brothers, you know, right down there in DC, Maryland area, you know, so you got Baltimore, you got, I think, Coach Kenny's daughter, Mia, I think she's on it. You got Speedy Rashidi Ellis. You got Jerron Boots Ennis. So he's locked up, right? And so, you know, I'm shifting my gears towards Shakur, you know, because Shakur is also my guy. The only time I draw a line in the sand is when it comes to Tank versus Shakur. I call Tank the predator. I call Shakur the definition. I call Devin Haney the professor. I haven't put Devin Haney in the Boxers to Watch collection. I just didn't put it together yet, but he's in the collection as well. He's a professor. He's a professor. The consummate professional. Again, I always say he might be the smartest one out of the new crop that's always linked together because of how he moves and what he's able to do and how he's able to drive the needle. The way he drives the needle. Very resourceful, man. Very, very resourceful guy. You know, he went through the politics. He went and got the belts. I salute him, you know, but it's something about when you start pointing out some of the inconsistencies. You start digging a little deep. When you start doing a little bit of that body work, something happens. You know, people start getting all in their emotions. Start getting in their feelings. Yeah, that's what happens. They start getting in their emotions. They start getting in their feelings, and they abandon all reason. And I'm like, guys, relax, guys. We're just talking boxing, you guys. You know. So I'm out ahead of the pack, right? And I'm saying, you know, the whole time in real time, and this is why I say, man, this is why I stand alone out here in these YouTube streets a lot of time. I got my man King Amin, you know, Jay Hardcore. He's coming over. He's dipping his toe in the water. He's seeing what's good as well. You know what I'm saying? So I got some people on the squad, but it's alone. I'm alone in these YouTube streets because in real time, man, I call it like it is. And I guess it's probably like Jaquise when he said he was the face of R&B. I'm not saying I'm the face of boxing. I'm not saying I say I'm the pulse of boxing. At any point in time, in any given subject, I could tell you, you know, what's really going on that subject. Now, if you ask me some weird stuff, something that you might have to go down below a rock or somebody that ain't been watching and listening and learning and observing this whole time, you know, you might catch me. But the pulse, I can give you a pulse. I can give you a real-time barometer of where boxing stands, given any subject or any boxer in any division. This is what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's not anything cocky. It's just that's what I feel, you know. I can't speak for everybody in the boxing community, but I can give you an inkling as to where the boxing community is. And right now, man, when you're trying to get out ahead and you're trying to forge a path for, you know, one of these boxers, and you kind of want to get them some momentum, and you want to put out some talking points, and you want to drive something home, man, to try to get, you know, one of these guys, one of the big masters, they kind of make it hard for you. They kind of make it hard for you, man. I mean, if you anything like me, man, when you want to see the good and you understand they get hit in the head and you don't want to call them a bum and you don't want to say that they moving suspect, they make it kind of hard for you, man. And that's where I'm at. You know, I'm out in front of the pack saying, hey, man, Loma got Devin waiting. How? I don't know, because Devin is Bob's new bud, right? That's the reality of it, right? So Bob has Devin waiting on Lomachenko, which should be backwards. Like, Devin should be able to tell Lomachenko kick rocks, but he needs it for his legacy. But in real time, I was trying to say, hey, man, you know you got a rematch clause that you got to do with Kambosos, and everybody was saying no. I was like, and then you know you got to go face Loma. And everybody was like, no. And then I was like, well, Bob got a plan, you know what I'm saying, for Loma to get them belts, but he said it's either going to be Devin and Loma or Shakur and Loma, with Shakur being the common denominator. So I'm looking at it right, and I'm saying, hold on, Devin, you ain't got nothing going on. Tank locked up. Y'all on the same side of the street. Now Shakur in the same division. It's come out that y'all had already had a silent agreement to fight, but I'm like, well, hold on. If Loma going to put you back, you know, you got people that got Shakur and Devin on their pound for pound list, but they say it ain't no time and ain't no energy for that fight right now. So I was pushing. I said, man, is Shakur out here playing Pac-Man? Is he out here playing Pac-Man? Because it looked like he was playing Pac-Man for a second, because he called the Issa. He called him Issa Cruz. He called him a pooch or a poodle. He said he turned it down. He said William Zepeda, who just got it on and win a 12-round, you know, majority decision over Jojo Diaz, he turned it down. And Bosa said, I've had a long year, Mike. You know what I'm saying? He probably over there sipping them Fosters, Australian for beer. You know, he said, I got that jab work. Because Coach Calvin called Devin a jab smith. So he let the jab smith, you know what I'm saying, jab him to death with that damn jab, and now, you know, he says no. And then we're looking at JoJo Diaz and saying, look, I'll be your Huckleberry. But on the scene comes a De Los Santos, the Dominican who came out of nowhere. I think he was 15-1 with 14 knockouts at the time. And Ryu was getting, you know, all, you know, he was biting off a little bit more, eyes getting bigger than his stomach. And he was saying Tank, and they was putting his name up there with Tank. And, you know, it was all this rah, rah, rah. Here comes De Los Santos in the third round. Stop it! Stop it, stop. Out of nowhere, he stopped them. So I see something with them going back and forth. I see him going back and forth, and I'm like, hold on now, what? Because I was wondering what happened to the De Los Santos. You know, in the Hippos Den boxing community, they was always saying, watch, they're going to build the Michelle Rivera guy to go up against Tank, or they're going to build up one of these guys to go, or maybe they're going to put him in there. Why we don't see the De Los Santos? Because everybody wanted to see him after he upset Ryu. Why? Because people love to hate Tank. That's no mystery. This video not about Tank. This video is about Shakur and De Los Santos. So De Los Santos put out something, and he like, hey, he want some of that smoke with Isaac Cruz. He said that'll be easy work. He said he wants some work with Shakur. And guess what Shakur say? Oh, he want a payday. I said, oh, Los Bing. What you mean you want a payday? What do you mean? This man is ranked number 11. He put on the example, that's good food. That would be that good food. But now it's a payday. It's like, man, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Somebody make it make sense. Like, how is it? So my question to the boxing public right now is, did Canelo Alvarez set yet another trend? Yet another trend. First, the bag ain't big enough. That's a trend right now, because we seen that trend walked out. We seen Canelo do it when he had an offer for a Benavidez and a Maul Charlo or a Spence. So it was a 2-fight deal. Benavidez and Maul, or Benavidez and Spence. He says no. Eddie fattened the deal and gave him a Bivol Triple G, probably a John Ryder selection. And he chose that because the thing was, oh, that wasn't the big enough bag. Oh, he went and got a bigger bag. So then we see Bud do it. Bud says, hey, you know what? I've accepted all the terms. I'm going to go ahead and get this big bag over here. And plus, I wanted to fight at the end of the year. And plus, I needed a tune-up. And plus, I got more excuses than the motherfuckers going to jail. You know what I'm saying? But the bigger bag excuse still reign prevails right now. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the bigger bag, right? So then we got Jose Ramirez, who Regis program, he take the steps. He take the steps after the Josh Taylor fight. Arguably, some people say that Regis really won, but he took the steps. He came back around. He wound up beating Jose Cepeda for the title. So now he has the WBC. He's the 140-pound champ. You got Gary Antoine Russell up there. You got Richardson Hitchens up there. You got Montana Love up there. You got T.O. up there. Now, T.O.'s already put in work. He already got 2 fights at 140. One where he got the stoppage. The other one, he didn't look as crispy as he needed to, but he also got the ugly dub. And so I'm thinking, you know, man, this landscape. So I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, dang, Shakur's moving up. Salute, Aaron Jones. So Shakur moving up, and I'm like, hey, man, let's get this man some smoke. And they say, oh, man, he don't got nothing to offer. And I'm like, man, hold on. Yes, he do. It might be an ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? If your name ain't Tank, it might be an ass whooping, but he do got a lot to offer, because after all, a lot of people got him on the pound for pound list. So I'm like, how come Devin and Shakur can't do it right now? Oh, no, ain't no energy. That fight ain't gonna happen, man. They already set for 147. But okay. So they talked me down the ledge. I said, man, dang, Shakur is out here playing Pac-Man. Then I get the news that De Los Santos said, hey, I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll be your Huckleberry. That's what he said. And Shakur says, you wants payday. Like what? Don't we all want a payday? So now it's a bigger bag, and now she want payday. So now you got it like that to where you could be telling somebody. Because I know Ortiz want it, but I would love to see the De Los Santos, man. Hey, if he want that smoke, give him that smoke, Shakur. If he want that smoke, why can't he get that smoke? Aaron Jones, LOL, Devin Haney fans base giving a built-in excuse already. You can't make this shit. Oh no, this is what I was saying though. No. Aaron Jones, this is what I was saying though. See, now if we give Shakur this, I'm just moving up and for my first fight. See, you can't have big dog talk, but then qualify statements. Well, yeah, for my first fight up, that'll be no. It's either you a big dog. Cause hey, remind me of when Floyd Mayweather ever said, "Oh man, my first time going to 147, so I'm gonna," or it's my first time going to 54. I'm gonna, or it's my first. Nah, we didn't hear those kind of. You can't have big dog talk. You can't have big dog talk and then say for my first time. See, but what happens is if we give that excuse to Shakur, aside from the fact that people are ducking him, but if we give that excuse to Shakur, guess what we're gonna do when Devin Haney defending this belt? If and he wins, we gonna say, "Oh man, when he get to 140, that's his first time moving." Y'all see what's going on? That's why they're not gonna let that fight happen. But I'm switching gears. De Los Santos is talking right. He said, "Hey, I'll be your Huckleberry to Cruz." Cruz is saying, "No, I got my eyes on Devin in a rematch with Tank. He want the title." So Cruz is turning down Shakur, saying, "I want Devin," and Devin about to move. I'm like, how convenient. Meanwhile, when Frank Martin won, he says before the fight on Brian Custy, he says he knows that Tank got to fight and he got to be focused. He knows that Devin is looking to get Lomachenko, but guess who he calls out after the fight? Tank and Devin. Aaron Jones, that's real shit. But he calls out Tank and Devin. I'm like, well, why? How come no Shakur Stevenson? How come no Pitbull Cruz? And then we hear Shakur Stevenson saying, "Yeah, I want that smoke with Frank Martin," which I'm like, yes, okay, let's do that. But I'm like, man, Frank, you could have got Pitbull Cruz. He right there. That's in-house. That's easy work. That's you know what I'm saying? That would be the next step. A guy that went 12 rounds with Tank instead of, but see, you get in the ring and you call out the top guys knowing that you're not going to fight them. Out loud what Shakur did when he called out Devin when he did his fight, because come to find out they had an in-house agreement. And I'm not going to harp on that. I understand. Okay, cool. That's the business of boxing. Try to look at things comprehensively. Well, we got De Los Santos, man. What do y'all think about this? He won a payday. I don't get it, man. I mean, I'm like, help me to understand. What do y'all think about Jose Ramirez saying, "No, the bag ain't big enough and he don't got a title"? I mean, he just avoided Jose Zepeda to go to the wedding, which, hey, do your nuptials. You know what I'm saying? Have your union with your lady, but let's get back to work. But now in the bigger bag, we starting to hit this bigger bag. Oh man, the bag ain't big enough. It's like, where do we stop? Now we got Shakur saying De Los Santos just want a payday. No, it's looking like he might got some work. Yeah, he hit the canvas. He did. But he got up and stopped my guy. He got up and stopped Villanueva. The referee hugged him and said, "Hey man, I couldn't let him do that no more." So he hugged him, he consoled him. You know what I'm saying? He had Ethan in his soul. He gave him a hug like an uncle, like, "Hey, rest your weary soul now, son." De Los Santos put work in, man. So now that man like 16-1 with 15 knockouts. He calling for the smoke with Cruz, which I call the juggernaut. He calling for the work with Shakur, who I call the definition. Make it make sense, y'all. Like, hey, talk to me, man. Like, am I going crazy, or is it hard to like get a real fight? Because we move these goalposts, and I want to have your back. I swear I do. I want to have your back. I want to be the one that's actually. I want to be the one that's actually defending it and saying, "Hey, man, let's consider this. Let's consider that." You know what I'm saying? Let's get to a point, because a lot of people just want to hear themselves be heard, but I be trying to actually get the points out. I want to respect the boxers. I want to get the points out, but I want to know what's really going on. Right back in there is Aaron Jones. I think Shakur saying that is kind of crazy to me. I think these fighters just need to keep shit a buck and say what they really fight for, which is the money. Yeah, they really fight for the money, but it's like, man, how do we conveniently just do away with fights based on statements like that? Like, how do I support you when you saying this man just want a payday? I'm like, I think they all want a payday. Don't they all want a payday? Don't they all want a payday? That man, hey, he might be barking up the wrong tree. I mean, who, you know, he's saying, all right, well, look, he's number 11. I can see if this guy was like number 18, but he's number 11. He's like one spot outside of the top 10, and he's saying, I want to smoke with Cruz. I want to smoke with Shakur. And he can't get no smoke. So tell me this, y'all. Talk to me, man. I want to know, man. Like, help me, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on at 135, man? What is going on right now? Like, who? Man, we know who at the top. But then, yeah, this is what it says. Look, it says fear. Never, brother. You are already losing. And Shakur says he want payday with all them laughing emojis, man. Explain that, man. Explain this to me. Explain this to me, man. I'm trying to figure that out. I want to know, like, explain. That's coming from Edwin right there. Fear never, brother. You are already losing. Shakur says he want payday. I need my Shakur only fans, because I'm a Shakur fan. I'm not an only fan. You know what I'm saying? You got fans, then you got the only fan. I'm a fan. I support my man. I go to bat for him all the time when it comes to certain things. But this one, man, he kind of got me lost on this one. Aaron Jones, he could take that fight and wait for Devin. Shaking my head. Their fans never keep the same energy, bro. Right, you could take that fight. I'm like, look, you could take that fight. Devin could take that fight now. Look, y'all. I was supposed to do a segment the other day, right? I was supposed to do a segment the other day, and the episode was called Sparring. Just like Vegas, right? Because, you know, it's this thing, right, where they say, traditionally, the way I was raised, the way I was shown everything, traditionally they say that what happens in sparring sort of stay in sparring. Allah, what happens in Vegas sort of stay in Vegas. But we always get Devin talking about sparring, man. Oh man, I beat the shit out of such and such. He just recently came on and said, hey, I kicked Hector Garcia out of my camp. He couldn't keep up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, he gets the benefit of the doubt for saying these things. And once again, this is sparring. My question is, hey, how come we never see this under the big bright lights? How come we never see you beat the shit out of somebody under the big bright lights? How come you always getting rid of somebody in sparring? How come you always talking about sparring? I thought what happens in sparring stays in sparring, just like Vegas. Just like Vegas. But Hector comes out and he says, nah, we sparred 4 times. And the last time you didn't even want to invite me back, as if he gave him the work. He's like, show the footage. Hector like, show the footage, but we give Devin the benefit of the doubt because he said that's what happened in the sparring. How much credence do we give to that? How much credence? Because now, like, if somebody get in the ring, like Shakur did, Shakur got in the ring and said, I want Devin. You know what I'm saying? He said that in the ring. Just like Spence got in the ring and said he wanted Bud. He said that inside of the ring. But now, if you say, oh, man, I F somebody up in sparring, or, man, I beat the crap out of them, man, yeah, they came through, I went through their gym, that gets more credence. That's getting whole shows about what you did to somebody in sparring. And sparring is supposed to be sparring. But why they don't ever happen in the big bright lights? How come the big bad wolf can't take, how come the big bad wolf in Devin can't take on, you know, the guy who has nothing to offer in Shakur right now at 35? And why are we giving this, oh, it's my first time moving up excuse? Like, well, I mean, I don't get it. T.O. didn't get it. That first fight that he had with the Asian guy, he didn't get that. He didn't get that excuse. They didn't say, oh, man, it's his first time moving up. T.O. didn't get that same, oh, because it's Devin. Gotcha. Because it's Devin. Because it's Devin. Oh, it's because, and it's no smoke for Regis. Y'all notice how it ain't no smoke for Regis. Remember he would drop all the belts to go see Tank at 140. Not too long ago, he would drop all them belts to go see Tank at 140. No talks about Regis. He can go make that happen right now. He don't gotta wait on Loma right now. I talked about that. I got up off of that. I'm sure Regis would take that in a heartbeat. He would take that in a heartbeat, but it's not the same energy. It's never the same energy. Y'all ever notice that when it comes to certain boxes? Do y'all ever notice that when it comes to certain boxes, it ain't the same energy? Or is it just me? Anyways, man, I put the link up there, man. I put the link out there if you want to get up here, man. Somebody explain this to me, man. Somebody come up here and co-host, man. Somebody pull my coattail, man. Get it off your chest, man. Explain, you know what I'm saying? Enlighten me as to why we don't keep the same energy when it comes to these boxes, man. Enlighten me. I would love to know, man. I got time tonight, man. I don't know how long I'll be on, but I just wanted to come on here and get a couple things out the way, man. I just wanted to know. That's all. I just had a couple things on my mind. I was seeing the whole thing, you know what I'm saying, I just seen the whole, you know, I seen the whole little thing take flight on social media, and I was just like, man, how come it's always like this, man, when it comes to these different boxers, man? It's always a different standard, man. But check this out. I told you I got this BodyWork. It's a KY jelly, right? It's what you use it for, not what you think it's for. It's for when these motherfuckers keep trying to move these goalposts, man. You apply it to the goalposts liberally, and they can't move them. You know what I'm saying? They can't move them goalposts, man. You can't do it, man. Like, so it's crazy, man, because people will ignore you. You know, they'll gaslight you. They'll have you thinking that you crazy. You know, that you own something. Like, nah, man, I'm not crazy. I just keep the same energy, man. The same energy y'all be having for Tank, because that Tank had been on the same side of the street as Devin. That Tank had been on the same side of the street as Shakur. That Tank had been on the same side as T.O. in the same division with no fight. We'll still be looking at videos about that shit right now. Tell me I'm lying. And happy holidays, man, to everybody, man. I don't know if you celebrate Xmas, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever, Kwanzaa, all that good stuff, man. Happy holidays, man. It's a time, man. It's still a good time in boxing, man. It's still a good time in boxing where, you know, you can poke holes and poke fun at, you know, at whatever you want, man. But it's still a good time in boxing, man. I just don't know why we don't keep the same energy when it comes to these different boxers, man. I'm like, man, I'm up here vouching for Cruz. Like, hey, he ain't no easy out. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of have some skill. I was wondering why Martin didn't say Cruz. He said Rolly. You know, Rolly don't really say Cruz that much. It's like I was thinking, but dang, is the little juggernaut? I call him the juggernaut. Is he? You know, he looking like a poodle. I don't know why. Let's see. Salute the low blow champ. 2023 will bring better fights. It has to. Yeah, it's a lot on deck, man. And we just got a major blow though with the Jamel Charlo, who I currently have as my face of boxing champ. We just had a major low blow. You know, it's a setback, but you know, Jamel Charlo is the consummate professional, so should be an issue there with him getting back. But that was a major blow because he set the tone. He's the face of boxing right now. My face of boxing. He's faced adversity. He's battle tested, proven. He didn't just beat one. He stone collected. He faced adversity. He came back and stopped his guys. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Kurtwood, yo. What's happening, man? Thanks for coming in and hollering at your boy. Just talking some boxing, man. Some boxing talk, man. You know, these goalposts that they moving, man. My man told one of my guys told the new guy that I've been looking at, man, that, hey, you want a payday, man. I'm like, hold on, man. This man ranked number 11, man. He's 16-1 with 15 knockouts, man. He might got some work. You know, being in the military, we never shied away from work. Ain't that right, Kirk? We don't shy away from that work, man. We run towards the smoke. But I wanted to chop it up, man, see if anybody want to give me some answers today. I can get into my oldies, you know what I'm saying, my of the year candidates. I had Jamel Charlo as my champion of the year. I gave the female champion of the year, I gave it to Alicia, even though I gave the comparison. I gave it to Alicia Baumgardner. Kurtwood said, yes, sir. And he said, follow me, yeah. At my last duty station, it was send me. I'm like, hey, I don't know if we should be saying that right about now, but they was like, send me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. But I had Alicia as my female champion of the year, even though, you know, Clarissa Shields, third time undisputed, she got it. And I gave the analogy of like a lieutenant going to captain. That's what Shields did. But what Alicia Baumgardner did was like a specialist going to a sergeant. She switched over, went into a different stratosphere with what she's doing. You know, between the physique, the level of skill, the opponent that she had to take out to do it, how salty her opponent is. Her opponent's still mad, and she got options. You know what I'm saying? She's getting endorsement deals. She's commentating. That was my female champion. My prospect of the year was Jared Anderson, the big baby. You know, I think that Top Rank is doing a great job with that young man. I think that he is a force to be reckoned with. And for a long time, I didn't think the heavyweight division was what it was advertised to be. We had one dominant force. Nobody couldn't really get with him. But now it's some fresh fish in the pond and across the pond. You know, you got a Fabio Worley, you got Dubois, you got Joe Joyce. Now you got F.A. Jagba, you got Frank Sanchez, you got, you know, Andy Ruiz still doing his thing. Of course, you got Wilder, you know, Fury, Usyk. They about to get it on for undisputed, you know. But I got Jared Anderson as my prospect of the year. Why? Because he can switch hit, which is not, you know, that's not everything. He has the ability to. His output is more than what the lightweights were doing or the junior welterweights were doing. He had a punch output like 140 something punches in the first round, which was a punch output that was more than the junior welterweights threw in the fight in the first round. You know, nice power. You know, we just saw that he had a beard. Now, whether he can let Wilder hit him like that, a Fabio Worley hit him like that, a Joe Joyce hit him like that, a Tyson Fury hit him like that, who knows? You know, And to my point, some things about him sparring a certain somebody had came out, and I'm like, hey man, what happens in sparring is supposed to stay in sparring. And I do it both. I look at it both ways. It's just like when that video came out about Erickson Lubin dropping Berlanga and sparring. I was saying, hey man, like, I'm like, it's, you know, it was a good thing to see that Berlanga could be, you know, dropped like that. But I was like, man, that's not cool, man. Like, what if they were working on something? Well, they were working on a technique and Buddy wasn't ready. But I think that you get compromised. It's just like when somebody see you in practice and want to judge you on what you did in practice. And we all know that some people turn it on and they do way better when the big bright lights come on. Some people are like warriors when it comes to practicing. They doing everything. They running, they catching every pass. Like Nelson Aguilar, get out there on the field and couldn't catch a cold. You know what I'm saying? So I think sparring is one of them things, man. It should be sacred, man. It should be in an intimate setting, you know, when don't nobody really know much about it. Not too many eyeballs, and the eyeballs that are on it are responsible. And until both parties agree and say, okay, yeah, we can go back and we can watch it, because that's what will make it great when you guys go on to retire and do your thing later on. It's like when y'all can sit back and y'all can look at everything. Like, you know, when they had that round table with Roy Jones and Eubank Sr. and they had all of them and Connor Ben's father, Nigel, when they was at the table talking about sparring and stuff like that back, you know, later on, where you can get some bread for it and then you could do a documentary and you could show all that. That's what that's for. But in real time, putting out sparring is sloppy. It's sloppy. But moving right along, I almost had Shushu, Bruce Carrington, as my prospect of the year. You know, it was very close. I just would like to have seen him get that last fight in, and for whatever reason, the fight wasn't able to be made. But that was my prospect of the year on the male side. On the female side, I had Ramla Ali. You know, she's a model. She has some vicious techniques. She's doing that impeccable body work. I see the form. It's one of them things where she's a technician already. It's very early. I think she's like 6 fights in. And she's already starting to stop people in the second and third round with body shots. Body shots, going to the body, up, changing levels, going from the body to the head. I gave her my prospect of the year on the female side. My knockout of the year, I gave to Caleb Plant. Yes, there were some devastating knockouts. There were a lot of stoppages. You know what I'm saying? But there were some devastating knockouts. But I gave the knockout of the year to Caleb Plant because of the way he did it. He did it with a body head, and then going into that fight, like I said before, everybody thought that if anybody won't get knocked out in that setting with those two people, they would have thought that the dog, Darrell, was going to get the knockout. They wouldn't have thought that Sweet Hands was going to get the knockout. They were reasoning that if it went 12 rounds, Caleb Plant had more than enough ability to outbox the dog, Darrell. Anthony. Plus he had that crazy bet out, you know, I think it was like 10 grand. I hope he paid up. On that bet. But that was my knockout of the year. My comeback champion of the year was Regis Prograis. I stated before, Regis Prograis took the stairs. He had a controversial decision loss to Josh Taylor, who went on to defend his belts. He had an questionable win over Catterall. You know, I believe Catterall had won that fight. You know, Regis had did a noble thing because he didn't have to go across the pond, but he went across the pond and fought Josh Taylor. And some people say, like me, I say he probably fell asleep at the wheel at the time. Basically, in the middle rounds, he wasn't active enough. He just didn't do anything to push the envelope or express his dominance, but he didn't necessarily outright lose the fight. It could be debatable. I could have saw it either way depending on how you judge the fight. But if you look at the faces, if you looked at Josh Taylor's face after that fight, you'd have said, yeah, Regis did his thing. You know what I'm saying? He blacked my man up. I know Josh Taylor probably had to put a stake on that thing, but long story short, Regis is high risk, low reward, or he was. Now he's actually went back. He secured a victory with an 11th round stoppage over Jose Zepeda. He was going to the body. I saw great head movement. I saw good footwork. You know what I'm saying? I think he could still get better. That's what's scary. But he's one of the cornerstones at 140. Devin Haney could go see him right now. He took the steps. He secured and solidified his position. He became the first two-time champion from New Orleans, Louisiana. Regis the Rougarou Prograis. I gave him my comeback champion of the year, and I gave Senicia Estrada my comeback female champion of the year. She took a year off. I think it had something to do with the money, and you know, she's a consummate professional, very skilled. She's in my intro. She be putting them paws. I'm talking about level changing. I'm talking about devastating hand power. Can throw them things. I seen her training before, and she was just like, yeah. She was just hitting the bag like she had some aggression to get out. So she moved over to ESPN. She do her thing. She make her debut, and she picked right back up where she left off. So I salute to her coming back. My second champion of the year, it was very close. I had Jamel, but anyway, it was a tight, close one with Anyway, because Anyway moved up to his third division, securing undisputed with a victory over Paul Butler. Paul Butler didn't really want to engage, and it came down to a point where the round before the stoppage, going into it, Anyway was just pumped up. He was dancing. He was jumping around. He went in there and basically he cornered Paul Butler, and it was accumulation of punches. And it was just something that, Paul Butler, he didn't want to see no more of that. He's a little guy. A lot of people overlook him. I don't know if I'm gonna do in my boxes to watch. I haven't labeled what it is, but it's either the dragon or the monster. I want to call him the dragon. I do change the name of some of these boxers, even though they do have their own little nicknames. Like I called Andrade the Falcon, because it's his lateral movement, his ability to stick, how swift he is, vision, he can see, he can get in and out, and he's strong. That's a bird of prey, a strong bird of prey. So, sometimes I change up their names in my boxes to watch collection. I also have my eyes on Diego Pacheco. He's in the same camp as David Benavidez. He's trained by Senior, very cerebral guy. He uses his length, he uses his reach, he uses his height, he uses his legs. Very smart. He uses his jab. You don't have to tell him about the jab. He uses his jab to set everything up. He changes levels. Man, I have him and Andrade and was it Morrell? Is it David Morrell? Have him and David Morrell on a crash collision at some point. Got to see Diego against a couple other different styles, just to kind of see him, pass those tests, get those rounds in, solve a couple problems that, the average boxer can't solve. Maybe one of these tough, hard, where you ain't gonna knock them out type, veterans. Maybe a journeyman, a carbon copy. Because you do have these journeymen out here that they are the litmus test. If you're average, you're not going to be able to beat them. They might stop you. If you're above average, you might be able to stop them or get past them, but you pretty much not really going to knock them out. There's a lot of them guys out there, you know what I'm saying, that they can get put in there with him, but want to see his evolution. But as far as my of the years, I believe, let me see, coach of the year, had to go to Derrick James. But there are legal coaches that I always give respect, and I always forget to mention Robert Garcia. My coaches, Coach Calvin Ford, and Kenny Ellis. That's a team. That's a package deal. You know what I'm saying? Him, Derrick James, who has Jamel Charlo, Earl Spence, and now the Ghost. The evil genius is what I call him. I call Coach Calvin the Jedi Master, man. You can get so many jewels, man. Even when you don't think, he ain't even trying to drop jewels. He just, speak, and then you get enlightened. And I also like Coach Kevin Cunningham, man. He's been behind a lot of champions, man. He was the one that actually, threw in the towel for Lubin, and it was for Lubin's safety, and so that Lubin can box another day. But Lubin had all the heart in the world. He was gonna keep going at it, and Kevin had enough sense and said, nah, man, look, it ain't, look, we're going to be able to fight another day. But he's always behind. I think he's a big driving force behind the resurgence of Adrian Broner. I think he's one of the ones that's been tasked to actually kind of, keep him on the rails, get his mind right. A lot of people say the last time they seen Adrian Broner that he looked happy. Now with the shenanigans he doing with Black Prime and all that, him burning bridges, all that, we'll save that for some of the other channels that like to get into all that. I'm not going to get into all that. But as far as Adrian Broner, his spirit is good. As far as that baby, he look like he is like his second trimester. He need to drop the baby. I wish him well. We know that if he let his hands go, he can be lethal. He dropped Sean Porter, with a flash knockdown. But a lot of people say that after the Madonna thing, it kind of changed. And, who knows what happened? Who knows what the conditions were when he fought Madonna. However, a lot of people do lead themselves back to that fight to say, okay, there was a change after that fight. But he seemed to be in good spirits. He seemed to be rocking on with Black Prime and all that. Whatever they got going on, he's going to get the bag. He's been linked with talks with Regis, in the future. Regis looking to have a deal, a fight back in Louisiana. And man, to have Regis Prograis and a tuned up, in shape, level-headed, active Adrian Broner, it'll be a decent fight if, because you got to respect Adrian Broner and the skills, at that point in time. Once he get this tune out the way, he get out some of that ring rust, he showed that he can actually do it. He showed that he not just collecting the bag. That'd be a great fight down there in the Mercedes Dome. That's what I think. As far as my of the year candidates, what else did I have? Robert Garcia. When I talk about my coaches, he's in there. He's in there with one of my coaches that I respect, one of the coaches that I like. He has his hand, he put his stamp on my young guy, Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He has his finger on that. He had his finger on Virgil Ortiz, for some time. And you can kind of see the imprint that he had on Anthony Joshua after, a set of training, a period of time, a training camp, and some time with Robert Garcia going back into the second Usyk fight. You saw some of the benefits, and some of the things. It's just, it's a tall task to be able to grasp, to throw away bad habits, to buy into these principles, to put it out in real time up against a champion like Usyk, who's very versatile. Extensive amateur background, cruiserweight champion, moving up to heavyweight. He plays chess. So he had a good showing. But when it comes to the coaches, those are the people. I gave Derrick James the coach of the year. Having Jermell Charlo getting undisputed, having Earl getting a third piece, and had he got Bud in the ring and did, the outcome that I believe, he would have had two undisputed champions. With another young pup upsetting the apple cart in Michelle Rivera, because a lot of people thought that maybe Michelle Rivera might pull that out. So I give it to Derrick James, but I also like to salute, the other coaches, Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, that package, Coach Kevin Cunningham, Coach Derrick James, and Robert Garcia. Those are my of the year candidates, man. I just want to know, man, about this Shakur thing, man. I'm going to ask this one more time, man. Look, before I get up out of here. This guy right here, De Los Santos. This guy right here, right? And we know that that's Shakur. De Los Santos said, "Fear never, brother. You are already losing." And Shakur Stevenson says he want a payday. You want a payday? What? Come again, say what? Wait, what? That's looking funny in the light, Shakur, man. You my guy, man. But hey, man, somebody get down there and check on Shakur, man. Somebody talk to this man and see what's really going on, man. Because you're getting turned down from deals and all that. But that's a valuable opponent, man. That's a guy that if he want to smoke, give him what he asking for. Tell him his eyes is bigger than his stomach, like my mom used to do me. Oh yeah, you gonna eat all that shit. You asked for it. Yeah, your eyes got bigger than your stomach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you done bit off more than you can chew. It's more than you can handle. Well, go show and prove that be the case, Shakur. Anyways, man, I thought maybe, you know, some people might come on here, man. Hey, all of my new subscribers, all of the people that have elected to actually get down with the kidneys, all the people, for real, Mr. Cooper. Hey, everybody that went down and, you know, that got down with the kidneys, man, I enjoy y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Look, this is a channel where all subscribers matter. You know what I'm saying? If you subscribe to me, it's because you like that real boxing talk. You know, my stance has changed based on what these boxers are doing. I'm calling in real time. Now, I'll be your advocate, and I'll also be the one to say, man, because I'm not a yes man, I'll also be the one to pull your coattail and say, hey, man, that might not be the best play. That might not be the best plan of action. However, I do understand, because I was your age, young man. So I understand you make mistakes, but I would probably go another route. I would kick some of them yes men out your camp, because we don't do yes men. Ain't that right, Kurt? We don't do yes men, man. We like people that'll pull your coattail and say, oh, no, man, let me give you the skinny on that. You dig? You know what I'm saying? Give you that good information and let you know, hey, man, I don't know if I'll do it like that, or it's a better way, or, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You about 90% right, but, you know, look at this 10. You know what I'm saying? Let's correct this. Let's fix this, man. But I just hope boxers stay on the right path. They stay on the right track. You know, it's a beautiful sport, man. It translates into life. We deal with blows every day coming at us. We have to bob, we have to wheel, we have to maneuver, we have to manage, we have to maintain, watch out for our health, make sure our mental right. We know that these boxers get hit in the head, and we respect each and every one of them for what they do. You know, you give us content, you give me a lot to talk about. You keep me out of the streets, you keep me inside, you know, talking this boxing talk. So I love it. I love all the participants. You know, I hope that everybody's having, you know, a good evening. Mr. Kurtwood, yeah, man, no yes, man. That's how we operate, man. That's how we operate, and we don't always agree. We can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? We know how to talk to each other. We know how to hash it out, man. I'm just trying to get some things standardized. You know, because on YouTube, it's like the Wild Wild West. Everybody doing their own thing out here. You know, so I just kind of want us to be able to, even if you with that faction, I'm with this faction, we might be able to collab, but just because I might pick this boxer and you might pick that boxer, we still got to figure out at the end of the day how we going to get these fights, because us divided is not getting them. Maybe some correlation to what's going on in the real world. Anyways, I always like to put a lot on your mind. Thanks for everybody who actually came through and kicked it with your boy, man. Again, man, stay safe. And like they say, stay dangerous as well. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I look forward to the next time I get to wrap it up and I get to kick it with y'all, man. And, you know, I'm going to be more consistent, man. If it's a good time or a regular time that I should actually come on and talk this boxing, or if there's anything you want to hear me talk about or get my opinion, just let me know, man. If you haven't, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Check your notifications. I got a lot of good product. I'm implementing upgrades, man. I'm a perfectionist, so I like to have everything right and exact before I do it, but I'm learning to go ahead and roll it out and fix it and fine-tune it along the way and just be consistent. You know, so again, I appreciate everybody who came through. Everybody work box. We don't take things for face value. We do that body work.